This
Sir.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so now we are in the control instructions in the C. And what are the control instructions? As you know that the control instructions enables us to specify the order in which the various instructions in the program are to be executed by the computer. What are the different sequence in which I am going to execute the instructions that I am going to specify during my programming, right? So this is what we call as the control instructions. So basically, it specifies the flow of control inside the program. What will be the flow of these instructions inside my program? So primarily, we have four types of instructions, as you can see. One is the sequence control instruction. The second is the selection of the decision control instruction. The third is the repetition or the loop control and case control instruction. Once we are going to cover all these instructions, then these control instructions in C will be covered. Then we will move towards the concepts of these what we call as the pointers, right? So now decision in the case control instructions allow the computer to take a certain kind of decisions as to which instructions to be executed next. So whenever you see you have program, I think 2-3 programs you have done in the laboratory, right? But now if you have number of instructions in each particular sequence, the instructions will be executed. Can you specify this particular thing? Can we do this particular thing? So in order to do this particular thing, we need what we call as the decision and then case control instructions, right? So let's do it one by one. So this is a kind of revision that we have already done. But C program, we have already done these things, right? These arithmetic operations. Now coming to erase old ones. Coming to decision control structure. So what kind of decision we are talking about? A decision can be any type. In your real life you come across number of type of decisions. For example, if the highway is busy, I would take a diversion. This is your decision. If the pitch takes spin, we would win the match. This is your decision. If say this is pretty type of, if she says no, I would like to go elsewhere, right? This is also kind of a decision we have. So if you like this book, I would like the next edition. This is also kind of decision that I'm taking. So whatever the kind of decision uh, in the real life you can put, that is the kind of decision you are going to put inside the programming world. Right? How we are going to program these decisions that I am going to take according to my problem. So is there some type of statements that I'm going to use in order to map the real world or the problem specific decision into the programming? Are there some constructs? Are there some specified sequence or specified keywords through which I am going to write into the programming form, right? So all these instructions, all these decisions depends on some conditions being met. Until and if you can see in this, until and unless some condition is not met, we are not going to take any decision. Can you see this? If highway is busy, then I'm going to take that decision, right? I'm only going to take the diversion from that side. But if the highway is not busy, it is free, why I'm going to take such kind of decision? So it means that a particular decision is actually dependent on certain kind of condition that need to be fulfilled first. This thing is right. Okay, are you following this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now,
Yes.
see, C language too must be able to perform different set of actions depending on the circumstances. So what kind of decision making instructions are available inside the C? Let's see all these instructions. The first instruction that we have is, let me take the marker. The first instruction or decision making instruction that we have is the if statement, this one. The second kind of decision making instruction is using the combination of else with the if, that is the if else statement. The third one is what we call as the switch statements. So using these particular type of things, using these particular type of instructions, we can take the decisions, right? As for somewhat less important structure is one that we use the conditional operators. We will see what are the conditional operators, that how we are going to use the conditional operators with these if and else statements, right? The conditional operators are also useful for making the certain kinds of decision, and we'll see how they are useful and what kind of different conditional operators are there. Now coming to the first one, that is the if statement. Please mind it. It is not like that we just learn the syntax and there is that's all. We should be able to clearly see what are the different conditions in which this particular if statement will execute, right? So if you can see over here, you can see it. Then the first statement is the if statement. Like most programming languages, C also uses the keyword that we said it is the keyword is the if keyword to implement the decision control structure. So what is the syntax for this? The syntax is that you write if, then you use this braces, and inside this braces you are going to write your condition. You are going to write the condition. Only when this particular condition is true, then only I am going to take the decision. Only when this particular condition is true, then only I am going to take the decision. If this condition is false, then I am not going to take any decision. So what does it mean? If this particular condition is false inside the if, I am not going to enter inside the if statement. Are you following this? Okay. Now, the keyword if tells the compiler that what follows is a decision control instruction, right? So how it is working? It is going to tell the compiler that whatever is being followed, what is being followed in this if condition, this particular line is being followed. This is a decision control instruction, right? So the condition following the keyword if is always enclosed, as I said, within the parenthesis. If condition, whatever it is true, then only the statement will be executed. Otherwise, we are not going to enter inside the if condition. So the primary condition is that inside the if this should be true. If this is not true, we are not going to enter inside the if condition. Okay. So if the if condition is not true, then the statement is not executed, as we said. Instead, the program skips the past. Okay. One moment, beta. Okay. So okay. So now coming to this one. So in general, the condition is expressed using the C relational operators, right? So these relational operators allow us to compare two values to see whether they are equal to each other, unequal to each other, or whether one is greater than the other. So inside the if condition, what we are going to use, generally we are going to use what? Let me take the pointer again. Generally we are going to use what? If, then inside this condition, we are going to check whether this particular condition is true or not using these relational operators, right? What kind of relational operators? For example, this one. If x equals to y, so whenever this particular condition will be true, for example, when 5 equals to 5, then only we'll say that the result will be true. So x is equals to y. So the result will be true in this case. But when we are going to write, okay, 5 equals to 7, so they are not equal. So the result will be false. And if the result will be false, then the statement enclosed within this particular if will not be executed. Okay. So primarily we will use these relational operators in order to make the judgment whenever we encounter or whenever we have to make some logic using these if statement. So this is one. The second is that if x is not equals to y, if this condition is true, whenever this particular condition is true, then only we are going to enter, otherwise we are not going to enter. So more or less what we are saying is that we primarily use the relations, not specific to the relation operators, but mostly the relation operators are used inside the if condition in order to check whether a particular condition is true or false. Okay. Similarly, we can check whether x is less than y or x is greater than y, x is less than equals to, x is greater than equals to y. So accordingly, whatever the result, we will see whether that is a true or false. If it is a true, then only we are going to enter inside the if statements. Whatever the statements following the if, we are going to take that particular statement. Okay, this thing is clear. Yes, beta, this thing is clear.
Yes,
Am
sir.
I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
clear.
So do not need to be confused in double equals to and single one is the assignment operator and double equals to the equality operator. Okay. Here we are going to compare the two values. In this, we are going to compare the two values. Here we are going to assign the value that is on the right side to the left side. Okay. This is an assignment and this is the equality operator. And this is an inequality operator that you can see in this topic. Okay, so this is what. So primarily we will use these things. Now coming to the first program using the if you can see this particular program, then let me erase, take the pen. Okay, so now follow the structure. We have taken name, then we have declared one variable. Please, whenever I say something, please listen it very carefully. Whenever I'm saying declaration, I have not said that it is assigned. I have only declared a variable. So declaration meaning that here we have specified the data type of particular variable, and this is the variable name, and we have not assigned anything to this particular number, right? So can you visualize how this will be looked inside the memory whenever we are declaring something, right? So as you know that what is the size of int? What is the size of int, beta?
Sir, 4
4.
bytes.
Yes, what is the size?
4 bytes.
4
4
bytes.
bytes.
Everybody, it is 4 byte. Are you sure about
Sir,
this?
4 bit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, 4 bit.
Who said it? Who
4
said it is a
bits.
4 byte?
4 bytes.
Bit.
No. If you remember the previous lecture, then you should be able to answer that these data types size is actually dependent on your compiler, actually dependent on system to system. So that's why I said that we should use what operator, that is the size of operator, in order to find this particular size of this particular int. In some computer systems, in some machines, the size of the int is a 2 byte. In some, it is a 4 byte. So whenever such kind of questions encounters, what is the size of integer? It is, we are not very specific. It is a 4 byte, but in 99% computers, 99% operating systems, compilers, the size of the integer is a 4 byte, right? But it should not be specific, because that depends on your OS, that depends on your compiler. Okay, so whenever we are saying that we have declared a one variable, so the data type of this variable is an integer type. What does it mean? It means that if we are going to imagine this particular memory as a block, right, like this one dimensional array kind of thing. So this is the 4 byte, the first byte. For example, this particular block, this particular cell is of 1 byte. This is again 1 byte. This is 1 byte size. Why it is not moving? One moment. So again, this is 1 byte, and this is 1 byte. So these bytes are reserved for this particular number, right? And what is the number? What is the number here? Number is nothing more than a tag that is given to the base address of this particular memory location. Are you following this? So what is the base address? For example, whenever we are going to store some numbers here, so this particular, whatever we are going to store here, it should have some address, so that we can store it in this particular cell. So for example, the address location of this particular memory is 100 here. So this pen is, okay. For example, this is a 100 location, this is 101, this is 102, this is 103, 104. Okay, beta? So declaring this number means that we have assigned a tag to the location 100, and whatever inside this 100, we are going to see that. Okay, so this is the meaning of the declaration of a particular number. So we have declared one number that is of integer type. Now enter a number less than 10. So we can enter it using the keyboard. So whenever we are going to give some input through the keyboard, then we are going to use one function that is what we call as the scanf. Right? Scanf is going to take whatever we are going to enter through the keyboard, it is going to take inside this scanf. So whenever we are
You are not audible.
Sir, you are not audible.
Sir, you
You
are
Yes,
are
sir.
not audible.
not speaking, sir.
Sir, you are
Not
not
audible.
audible.
सर तो मीटिंग में ही नहीं है शायद
I think
अरे
बिजली
वो
गई।
टेक्निकल डिफिकल्टी लिखा है।
लाइट चली गई शायद
नेटवर्क इश्यूज
नेटवर्क इश्यूज भी हो सकता है
बिजली गई शायद
हेलो सर सर क्लास में आप
सर की लाइट चली गई भाई
घर की लाइट।
सर तो ऑफलाइन बता रहे हैं।
अरे सर किधर है
ऑफलाइन हो गए।
सर ऑफलाइन है।
बट नहीं हो पाएगा कुछ। अब तो नींद आने लगी सोचा।
राग, रिकॉर्ड हो रही है क्लास।
हेलो
और ये मेरा जंप है
सर किधर है
माइक ऑन है भाई।
रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है क्या?
हाँ भाई।
हाँ हो रही।
इफ करने का मीटिंग।
आई ऑल्सो थिंक सो सर को मैसेज भी नहीं कर सकते, सर ने मना किया हुआ है कि मेरे को व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज नहीं करना।
सर को एसएमएस करना है।
मना किया है सर ने कि मेरे को मैसेज नहीं भेजेगा कोई भी व्हाट्सएप पर।
तो मेल कर देते, नहीं तो कर देते।
अभी तो कर सकते हैं।
अभी तो कर ही सकते हैं, अब क्या ऑप्शन ही है।
अभी कौन सा कुछ
मैसेज तो सर को आना चाहिए।
सर बिजी होगी।
लीव कर देते हैं फिर तो, अगर नया लिंक ही बनाना पड़ेगा फिर, अगर वो हो गया तो।
5 मिनट में तो वैसे भी क्लास बंद हो ही जाएगी।
नहीं होगी, इसको दोबारा से ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं सर, ये क्लास नहीं बंद होगी।
बंद तो नहीं होगी।
इसमें मैसेज नहीं आया है।
राजीव सर कुछ लिख रहे हैं।
असाइनमेंट दे रहे हैं।
गूगल क्लासरूम पे असाइनमेंट है।
गूगल क्लासरूम पे असाइनमेंट आ गया 15 क्वेश्चंस का।
टीपी का
ड्यू डेट 11 जनवरी।
किस सब्जेक्ट का आया वंश असाइनमेंट?
एनालॉग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स।
राजीव वर्मा सर।
अच्छा समझा दिया था।
कौन है?
क्या करना है, बैठे रहेंगे 2 मिनट वेट कर लेते हैं फिर रेडी आते हैं। क्या कर सकते हैं, 4:30 तक कर लेते हैं वेट फिर।
कुछ सुनना पसंद करेगा कोई?
रात को यही का असाइनमेंट सबमिट करना है, वो कर लो सब।
एक का आज को किसकी ड्यू डेट है भाई आज?
आज किसी की नहीं।
की थी वो सर ने बढ़ा के जैन 5 कर दी।
कल तक के लिए किसी ने एएस के वो क्वेश्चंस कर लिए? वो 4 क्वेश्चन से
2 तो सर ने करवाते थे।
हाँ वो तो
किसी को
मतलब
फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन आया है क्या?
ये 5 जनवरी की कौन सी वो है ड्यू डेट? कैसे
ये
ये
वाले फॉल इफेक्ट वाले फॉल इफेक्ट
रिपोर्ट हुआ है।
कल इधर असाइनमेंट हो जाएगा फोटोइलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट।
हाँ, हॉल इफेक्ट का 5 हो गया।
एफडब्ल्यू वाले का किसी को
एनीवन
पता
हैज अ
बताना।
डे यार, अगर किसी में हिम्मत हो तो यार सर को ही फोन कर लो, ये मैसेज कर दो।
कर देता हूँ।
गरिमा तुम करो।
अच्छा
तुम्हें सर
गरिमा
कुछ
तो
नहीं
रेजी
बोलेंगे,
था।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल गरिमा को सर कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे।
स्ट्रिक्टली मना किया है सर ने सबको।
सर तो ऑफलाइन है इस टाइम यार, फोन ही करना पड़ेगा।
अरे वैसे भी थे क्या कहते हैं 15 मिनट बचे हैं।
चलो मैं लीव कर रहा हूँ। बाय।
क्लास इज टिल 4:45
लीव
ना?
कर रहा हूँ भाई मैं।
अरे सर भाग गए।
लीव कर रहे हैं।
जब से वापस आएंगे तो भी मैसेज करेंगे।
हाँ ठीक है, लीव करें।
तो फाइनली लीव करना।
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल।
यस ठीक है यहाँ पे।
हाँ डियर सर का मैसेज, नो नेट, आई विल लेट वंस रिज्यूम्ड।
सर फोन के इंटरनेट से पढ़ाते हैं क्या?
ब्रॉडबैंड
यार
से
फोन का
पढ़ाते हैं।
इंटरनेट भी इतना बुरा नहीं चलता, मैं भी फोन के इंटरनेट से ही पढ़ता हूँ।
मेरा तो ब्रॉडबैंड ही है यार, ठीक है।
मेरे पास भी
सर जहाँ
वाईफाई
रहते
है।
हैं वहां पे कनेक्शन नहीं आते हैं, कभी लाइट नहीं आती कभी कनेक्शन नहीं आते।
जियो फाइबर नहीं चलता है।
व्हाट्स
फोन
हैपनिंग
वाला
गाइस?
चलता है यार।
सर आए नहीं क्या?
सर ने मैसेज कर दिया कि नेट नहीं है, मैं रिज्यूम करता हूँ थोड़े टाइम में।
मतलब इतना हम बैठे रहे।
हाँ इंतजार
बैठे खड़ा हो जा खड़ा हो जा
क्या करना है, लीव करो।
देखो गाने सुनो, चलो फिर तुम
और क्या
गाना
सुनो
लगाओ
ये
यार।
कौन सा सुनना है? अच्छा बताओ।
लीव करो
लीव करो
अरे
सेकंड व्यू लगाओ।
है?
अबे ये क्या लगा दी?
रिकॉर्ड पे सुन लो यार।
तुझे पता नहीं रिकॉर्ड है कैसा
डिस्कॉर्ड पे चल लो, सुनना है तो।
रिकॉर्डिंग हो रहा है भाई, थोड़ा ध्यान से।
करता मैसेज आ गया, बेटा प्लीज लीव, नो इंटरनेट।
चलो फिर छोड़।
कहाँ है भाई? हमें तो ना आया।
तो
लीव
मैसेज
तेरे को
करके पूछा होगा।
वंश तेरे को पर्सनली आया है क्या?
देख अच्छे से
भाई
देख लो।
किधर
हाँ
है
भाई पर्सनली आया है,
ओ भाई पर्सनली डेंजर।
देख रहा है।
भाई
लीव कर दो।
नहीं, आई थिंक इसने बिजली के साथ कोई कनेक्शन कराया होगा, इसलिए इसका पर्सनल मैसेज आ गया।
लीव कर दो, रिकॉर्ड हो रही है।
अबे FWD का किसी को मिला तो भेज देना सारा आंसर।
वैसे भी जब स्टार्ट होगी तो सर तो मैसेज करेंगे ही, फिर ज्वाइन कर देंगे।